Welcome back to WRPL. It's a podcast where we talk about all the things we were watching, reading, playing, and listening to. My name's Ben.
And I'm Steve.
Wow, welcome back, Steve.
We're starting super late.
Yeah, we are bad at this. We're only 8 weeks into the year, and I think we've missed 3 episodes. So, once again, another snowstorm came through. We couldn't get together. Things come up, but we have a bevy of shit.
This might be our longest episode yet. We're just going to jam pack it into a tight 90.
Quick as possible. There was only one major release that came out, and we couldn't do any sort of like pre-gaming stuff. So, Steve didn't see Scream 7. I did, but that's not going to be our main topic. We're going to just, talk about a whole bunch of other stuff. So you'll see whatever we talk about the longest, that will be the title of this episode. Yeah. And if the main topic is in the middle of the episode, so be it.
Or we'll call it like February
wrap up.
February dump,
Yeah. Well, let's start with a roll.
Feeling confident on this one. 11.
Okay.
Not good. On the higher side.
All right, here we go.
18.
Ooh, okay.
And you made it through this little loop in the wire.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Crushing it lately. This might be your year, buddy.
Yeah. I doubt it, but we'll see.
A lot of weeks to go.
All right, I just got to keep an eye on it and keep fucking with this thing. So sorry if there's audio issues throughout this episode, but I got an 18. Cool. I'll go first. I got...
Wait, real quick. Let me ask you. How many things do you have? Because I have 10, which is more than usual.
8, not counting your main topic, the video game we just played, or the TV show that we talked about. 8 things of my own.
Okay. Got it. So 11 things total. Oh, I must add you.
Well, like always, we'll start with some news and stuff. Three big deaths in the past coming weeks. Robert Duvall died at 95.
Yeah.
Eric Dane at 53. I don't know if you saw his goodbye video to his kids.
I saw a second of it.
Hard to watch. Very, very sad. And then Robert Carradine, who was in Revenge of the Nerds, died at 71. So, it always comes in threes. It's just how it is. So RIP to all three of them. Wasn't major fans of any of these people. I know Eric Dane was on Grey's Anatomy. He was one of the McDreamy, McSteamy.
The dad on Euphoria.
He's the dad on Euphoria. I always knew him. He's Multiple Man in X-Men's Last Stand. Oh, yeah. That's how I know him. But R.I.P. There's a couple of trailers, but I don't think we need to talk about them. We got so much stuff on here. We could talk about trailers.
We'll just list them off, and I'll just see if I even know.
Over Your Dead Body, Jason Segel and Samara Weaving.
Oh, that looks fun.
That looks fun. Toy Story 5.
Don't care.
I think it's a good trailer, and I have faith that it will be a good movie. It's just an unnecessary movie.
Agreed.
And then the Backrooms trailer. Nice little teaser.
Teaser?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. Yeah. I know nothing of Backrooms other than that it was a YouTube thing.
Yeah.
That was popular enough to get picked up.
This is a creepypasta thing, anything else. My last bit of news, though, would be... Did you see that? No. You see that Kratos pic?
Kratos pick.
Yeah, the actor playing Kratos in Kratos makeup with Atreus.
No. Ooh.
I thought it was fake. I thought it was AI. I thought it was cosplay. It's not great.
Hang on, let me.
They got a wrinkle in his beard. The kid doesn't bother me. Yeah, he's a little young looking, but it's fine. But I don't know.
Oh, okay. Honestly, it's not as bad as I thought. Hang on, let me...
I just feel looks like a, Xena warrior princess Hercules version of Kratos. And it's not going to... I know it's an on-set photo. They can do lots of color grading and filters and make it look so much better. But I'm not impressed with that.
I'd say that the costuming is quite accurate.
It just looks kind of stupid.
This does look like an AI photo, though.
Yeah, but it's apparently not.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess going younger for this kid, and then if he, sprouts up in season 2 or 3, full teenager would make sense. I don't hate it, but it definitely looks weird.
Yeah.
So I will hold off judgment until I see a trailer.
All right. Okay, well, let's get started. I will start with something that I didn't get to talk about last time we were on, which is Wuthering Heights. You know, this movie's been getting shit on a lot. And I could understand why. I didn't know this book. I never read this book. I looked up the story of how accurate it is. This movie's only about the first half of the book. It really goes on with their offspring, and after like these characters, die.
The book does.
Yeah, the book does.
Okay.
And the movie, it kind of ends with, do you care about spoilers?
Yeah,
After Margot Robbie's death, it's pretty much kind of done there. And that's only halfway through the book. I kind of fucking really like this movie. I don't think it's as sexy as the trailers make it out to be. I just think it's really well made visually. The sets are crazy. Like, this house has a crazy room. Every room in this house is just the most outlandish, gaudy looking thing.
I mean, from a trailer perspective, you could tell like the production design on some of
it's fantastic.
Yeah, there's some good shots in that trailer.
And some of it looks almost like Tim Burton-esque. Like it's teetering to that edge of non-reality.
Right.
The two leads are very good. I've never been a Jacob Elordi fan. I think his face he's got a punchable face. But I think he's good in this. But they're huge pieces of shit. Oh my god. There's not a likable character in this entire movie. They all suck so much. And it's definitely one of those, like, because you only heard part of a story, you take it as fact, and then that becomes your, like, guiding force for the rest of your life. And if you just would have hung around for 5 more seconds, you would have heard one more line of dialogue and it could have changed things. And then they're just fighting the whole time. They can't be together because one married someone and one fucked off for a few years, and now they're just, like, at each other's throats for the rest of it. And it's kind of great watching them be the worst people in the world who, like, totally deserve each other because they fucking suck. There is a woman who is on the show Task. She is the British one who does a really good Delco accent. She's in it, and she's a little, like, weirdo in it, and she's awesome. She's my favorite character. she's like
I'm a big fan of weirdos.
I am. She's like privileged rich girl who's so bored she has nothing to do but, like, make dolls out of people's hair, because what else is she going to do in the middle of fucking nowhere? And then when Jacob Elordi starts using her as a tool against Margot Robbie, she turns into a little freak, and it's really fun. I don't know, I dug it. It's not super sexy. It has its moments. And I don't care how accurate it is. I just think it's kind of a good time, even though it's a real bummer of a time.
Over, like, pushing 2.5 hours?
No, actually, I think it's right over 2. Not closer to 2.5. I think maybe like 2:03 or something like that. It's worth your time.
So, what would you give it as a grade?
I gave it a B.
B?
I gave it a B, yeah.
Cool. Well, I watched a short film, an Oscar-nominated short film this year called The Singers on Netflix. I think it's like 18 minutes long.
Live action or animated?
Live action,
okay.
Sorry. And it's the story of a group of men who are in this bar during a snowstorm, and some, like, I don't think they ever say what... well, they might. Anyway, some podunk town, essentially. And you can tell these all look like your stereotypical, like, blue-collar workers. Like, most of them are older men, kind of, like, all grizzled looking. I only recognized one person in this short film, and I couldn't quite place where I recognized him from, and then he sang, and I was like, oh, that guy was on like the X Factor or America's Got Talent or whatever.
Oh,
it's like, okay, I remember that guy now. And I looked it up, and he was there. But basically, this is the story of this bartender who's just like, hey, whoever there's like a bunch of $1 bills like all over the ceiling, but there's one $100 bill hidden amongst them, and he's like, whoever is the best singer in this bar gets that $100. So it's this group of men who are taking turns singing, and they're all very good singers. I mean, except for one who was like kind of like who started the bit off and he was like clearly bad and it was funny and like oh this is how it's gonna go.
Mm.
But they're all like really talented singers and one guy who's like clearly like a drug addict. He's playing the piano and he's really good. Um, the bartender sings a song and it's like this super sad like downer song about like a lost love and he's like looking at a photo of his like it's made to like be like oh his wife died and
Hmm.
he's alone and then like all the guys come around and like hug him one like chubby guy who's like nervous goes to the bathroom and because they're like hey man you want to sing he's like no and then he like goes in the bathroom and he's like a gorgeous singer but he leaves so no one on it like he never gets like his time to shine and all and like then the movie or then the short film just kind of like ends there's no like
Hmm.
real resolution or anything like that. It's just like a nice moment where like a group of people you wouldn't expect to do this thing just like share their emotions through song. Um, so it was just a real nice short film. Uh, I wish I saw other ones to really compare if this is like the front runner or not.
Sure.
But if you want to kill like a good 20 minutes, it's a cute little thing, and I recommend it.
Okay, cool. Uh, I watched Goat, and Goat is pretty damn good.
All right.
It's not as good as We're the Mitchells or K-pop or Spider-Verse. No, it's a little more shallow, but it makes up for it by going balls to the wall with style. So I know I've shown you these in the past, but do you remember? No, you probably don't because you're young. But I'll show you a picture again. There were these folders of like extreme animals doing sports stuff.
Okay.
So like low angles, fisheye lens, alligator biting that volleyball. Isn't
This
that
is
crazy?
such a 90s thing.
I love that shit. I try to get as many of them as possible, but they were kind of hard to come by because everybody fucking wanted them because they were cool as fuck.
These are like would be good album covers. I mean, they look kind of AI, but
AI,
that dog one at the bottom I like.
yeah, that was a pretty popular one. I definitely had that eagle, the skateboarding with the alligator, the bear.
Yeah.
Um, so the movie just embodies that.
Okay. Animals and sports.
Animals and sports and extreme, especially the angles. There's times where like someone just puts down a foot, the camera is right up on the foot, and it's huge on the screen, and then they're like they look like they're a mile away because of how stretched the fisheye lens is, and I would say to its detriment, it never lets up. It is go, 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 extreme, cut, flashy, flashy, flashy. And there gets to a point where you're just like, can we take a break? And there is like one scene where the goat and the panther sit down and they get to know each other at a diner and it's a little calmer. But even those like
what's the goat's name?
oh god, I don't remember. Like they
Michael Jordan?
no, they had some restraint, and it was just like his name is like John Derrickson or something. It's
okay. They're not just all a bunch of puns.
no, it's not. It's not like
We're not BoJack Horseman in it.
yeah. His name is not like Billy Cudchewer or nothing like that. We'll have to be funded.
It's not important. I was just
His name is Will Harris.
oh
Yeah,
name.
like the big star Panther played by Gabrielle Union. Her name is Jet Fillmore. You know, they're just like people. They don't go nuts with all the
enough.
stuff. So yeah, I mean, story doesn't matter. You know, Goat plays basketball against the big smalls can't play with the talls. You know, racism, yada yada yada. It's Zootopia meets Wild Robot.
But it's heightism versus like
well, that's not a big deal, and they just it's like. Well, of course they can't play because these big animals are huge. They're going to block every shot.
Yeah.
You know, but he's so good at getting around and making these crazy shots that he's given a chance to do it. I don't know. I kind of liked it. It's kind of fun. It feels more gritty and meme heavy, like not outdated memes necessarily, but it just feels right for the time.
Okay.
It may not age well, but I like the world it's in way better than Zootopia. Zootopia is too clean, and like this forces kind of all the animals to live together, and it doesn't matter if a polar bear lives in the jungle. They don't have to have their tropics or anything like that. It's just more of an aesthetic thing. I don't know. I dug it.
All right, cool. As a basketball fan, I would like to watch this movie. I just didn't get around to it. So the fact that you like it, I'll probably check it out.
Yeah, it's worth your time.
All right. My next thing is I beat a game. I was in the PlayStation Store and I saw, the picture of it, and it was only $3, a small indie game. I was like, all right, $3, I'll check it out. I played Never Alone. This is remember the game Inside?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a side scroller thing like that where it's like puzzle solving. But you are there is like an official name of this tribe, and I don't remember it and I'm gonna butcher it. But it's like, for lack of a better term, Eskimo adjacent.
Okay.
Inuit. And so you are a little girl with a fox who's like, there's a blizzard that is like going through your village, and then this scary man has attacked your village, and you have to like go and save your people or whatever. The game's only like 3 hours long. It's super short. This game kind of sucked. What I like and appreciated about it was that it was like made with this tribe, and it's like based on their like myth.
Okay.
And like anytime you like beat a level or beat a thing, it gives you like, it unlocks an extra where you like talk, where it's like documentary stuff where you could like learn about their culture and learn about like how they did this thing with the game and how it all came together. So like that's kind of all really interesting. But the controls are atrocious, and there's not even like that many controls. Like there's a one of those like two balls on a string thing that you like throw.
A bolo?
Yeah. But like you aim with the same joystick that you throw with, so like you have to like line it up and then flick it, and then you're always like missing because you're like it was so hard. But also like there's times where someone's chasing you and you have to stop and then do that thing. And I just messed up so many times, and like I went online and pretty much everyone said like, this game is cute, or I like this game, but the controls are bad. Like everyone kind of agreed. Like,
why not make it line up and then you just like pull the trigger?
Like there's only jump and then that. Like you have an entire controller's worth of buttons that you're not using.
Why make it the same thing I use for something else?
All you have to do is go like, okay, I can hold R1 to like release, or click it or whatever. Anyway, so I think from just a controller standpoint, terrible. The story was fine. I didn't get too invested because there's no dialogue really, other than like the narrator who's like telling the story that you're playing. And there's also, what's nice about it is like you can play two players because someone can be the fox if you want to, but also you can just like press triangle and like go back and forth, and that's how you solve some of these puzzles. And then it just kind of like just gets weirder, and like maybe playing with another person would have made it more enjoyable because I could rely on that person to do this thing instead of like, okay, I get this thing here and then I move this here, and going back and forth. So I'm not angry I played it since it was only $3, but if this was like a $20 game or something like that, I'd have been furious, because this game just isn't very good. Even though that the people behind it, I appreciate that they wanted to try and do something and share their culture, but just make a better game. And I think from a visual standpoint, it also kind of is a little bit tough because it's all set in this ice, like
everything's white to blue.
Everything's white and light blue. But even like there's like spirits that you kind of interact with, and they help you like move along the map and stuff, but they're like kind of drawn like how they would draw them like in caves or storybooks or whatever. So like I didn't necessarily love their design for them, because they looked like they were like pulled out of the page into this world versus just being part of this world. But But anyway, it was okay. D plus, I guess.
Okay, all right.
If I could give a game a grade.
Well, I'll talk about something I was a little disappointed in. I read a book called Last House on Needless Street. Let me get the author real quick. By Catriona Ward. Catriona Ward, I think is how you pronounce it. Um, I'll try to be quick because this is a book that was sold to me of like you won't see the twist coming, and there's lots of them, and it just keeps you on your toes. So I said, cool, why not? Pretty much, a girl loses her younger sister at the beach. She goes missing, and for years they can't find her. She thinks it's this one guy. The cops say no, he has an alibi, but she has exhausted everything else and she thinks it's this one guy. Well, this one guy is kind of a weirdo. He's a recluse. All of his windows are boarded up. He seems to be a little slow. Very much like, when he talks about his mom, he calls her mommy. One of those. And it's a story about him and also his cat who reads the Bible and is like a God-fearing cat. And so you get to see stuff from the cat's perspective.
Awesome.
And I was like, cool, this is really interesting. Spoilers. He never took this kid. His mom did bad things to kids and him. That's why he's a little fucked up. The cat, there is no cat. It's part of he has a split personality. And then also his daughter, it's revealed his daughter that has shown up. It's her and the cat are the same personality. The cat and the girl are one and the same. But no, actually both of them are different personalities of the guy.
Okay.
It's pretty fucking lame. And the woman who lost her sister, she knows what happens to her sister. She was off getting it on with a boy at the beach, and her sister slipped and smacked her head on the rocks and died, and she kind of just bailed and pretended she went missing, and then it just so happened the guy's mom took her body or something. I don't know. There were so many twists at the end that I was like, fuck, I can't keep it all straight. And it just seemed like, well, if you already knew what happened, why are you staking out this guy? And like they have a convoluted reason why she's doing it, but it's like every twist got dumber and dumber. The first one was just like, oh, he doesn't have a daughter, and the daughter and the cat are one the same. Okay, that's kind of interesting. But then like, oh god, it's all part. And then there's a psychiatrist that's doing stuff. There's like, God, there's all these twists in it, and it just got stupider and stupider. And I was like, am I dumb? Maybe I'm not seeing the brilliance. So, like you do, I went on Reddit, and everyone was like, what the fuck is this shit? That was lame. And yeah, all in all, not a very interesting book. Like, I had fun reading it as it was going, and it's like, oh, wow, what's going to happen next? But it just was like, okay, let's wrap this shit. Yeah, let's wrap this shit up. So, boo!
You're not on a good stretch of like books, man.
Yeah. It's like once I read
okay to bad.
Once I read The Devils, it was like nothing can compare. But I got 2 books coming up. I think I'm on both of them. It's like 39 weeks away from being able to do the audiobook because so many people are in line for it. So that gives me hope.
Got some time though.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I'll do. I read a novella. It is 104 pages, if I remember correctly, and it's called A Short Stay in Hell. This has been kind of all over, not all over necessarily, but a lot of the YouTubers who read fantasy that I like talk about, or that I watch, have brought up this book, and I was like, okay, sounds cool. The book was like,
this sounds familiar. You read this? This wasn't an audiobook?
I read it, yes.
Okay.
So I picked it up, and I read it basically in 2 days. Honestly, like the spacing of the words and like the size of the font was like kind of big too.
Okay.
So like honestly, if you like imagine like a mass market paperback, like it's probably like 50 pages. How like condensing it in there? But basically, this is the story of a Mormon who goes to hell. Like the opening chapter is he like meets a demon, and demon's like, "Yep, you're in hell. None of you practice the one true religion, and they're like, what's the one true religion? And it's like called Zorarianism or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. And he's like, only about like 100,000 people practice it. It's mostly like in Iran and like and some other country. And but anyway, you're all going to hell. And
Nice.
and so he like ends up in his hell is based off of a book called the Library of Babel, where he is in not an infinite, but a massive library. And it's him and other people who have been sent to this hell. And basically, you get the goal is, and there's like a list of rules on the wall. They have a sleeping quarters. There's machines that like will give you any food you want, no questions asked. And then it's just like just find the book that contains your life story. All the books are the same size. So if like let's say you found War and Peace, War and Peace exists, but it would be in two however many volumes to like make out War and Peace.
Okay.
But the problem is like I think the whole thing is randomized, and so one book might be all the letter A, and the next book is all letter A and one B,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like that kind of. You might open up a book and it just says like six random words of just like apple corn basketball hoop Gary, and it's like, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Hey, at least you don't have to read the whole thing. Like you can just go, oh, that's not my life story.
So obviously, like these people are, it could be worse. We're not being tortured. There's no fire and brimstone.
Mm-hmm.
We have food. We have sleeping quarters. We can die, and the next day they just wake up. So it's like they can kill themselves, but
Okay.
they'll just wake up the next day. Anything they take off the shelf gets put back on the shelf. Like
So you can't even mark yourself like where it is.
So one of the rules is like if you want to if you want to keep a book the next day, it just has to be touching you.
Okay.
But like if any books that you like throw around will just end up back in the thing.
Does it randomize every day or is it?
No.
Okay.
It's and I it doesn't really quite say if it's necessarily randomized, but it just anyway.
I think I have heard of this book.
Yeah, it's really an interesting depiction of hell and how like having people that you can like meet and hear their stories and rely on. It's like, oh, it's nice that we have people here. It's nice that I can eat. It's nice that there's like, we have infinite time to like do whatever. But then like the existential dread of it all just like wears you down. And like the fact that like other people going through this can like kind of like give you a bit of hope and they find love. And some of those that love might last 2 years. Some of it might last 1,000 years. But it all just kind of like whatever. And I don't want to get into spoilers, but like uh cults develop and there's like you can jump off, like there's like a gap in the library to like go down to the other levels. You can jump off and you're falling for a long time. And he's like there's ways to like kind of get back into the library as you're falling, but you might like break your neck and die, but you'll wake up on that floor the next day kind of stuff.
What's the end goal? Like you find the book about your life story, right?
So you find the book about your life story and you put it in this slot, and if it accepts it, then you get out of hell, and then it doesn't
go to heaven, or you just get to stop existing.
I don't know if it says, but I think it just says you get out of hell, whatever that means.
You get into super hell.
Yeah, but because it's so short, it's kind of just like little snippets of like this guy's journey, and you don't necessarily get a resolution, and you find out like someone did the math on how like because like we're not even sure if there's a bottom, and the guy's just like there's a mathematician who's in hell, and he's like I crunched the numbers based on how many like pages each book has and how many different whatever, and it's like light years of distance long that this library exists. It would take you billions of years to find your story.
Damn.
So everyone in here, and you could travel miles and miles and miles, not run into anybody. And so like eventually everyone will get out, but it will take you billions of years of existing of like mostly loneliness and just the inability to die and like form real human connections because like you've exhausted all like it's a very interesting depiction of hell because like it's not about the torture because the like
existing is torture.
Existing is torture.
Wow.
And like having a goal that you like you can't complete in like your own humans can only existed in like 80-year spans, and that's like a new thing.
Yeah, if you told them like it's going to take you 100 years to find this book, like damn, that's like a lifetime. Like, well, think about light years worth of time.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Like you have to. It's I think it was like seven to get from one end to the other would take like seven. Well, the distance is like 7.16 light years to the 1,396th power. And it was just like this crazy number. Like, and it's just like everyone found it out and immediately like burst into tears and was devastated because it's like this is all we will have for billions of years. There's nothing we can do
and
about
it's like
it.
I should just give up, but you can't.
But you can't.
So you might as well do it.
All that exists is the search.
Wow. Because that reminds me, someone was talking about like the amount of options in a deck of cards. You know, there's more hands in a deck of cards than there are atoms in the universe. Like it's a crazy number.
Yeah, they talk about that in the book. Not the card thing, but they said like
or like dice.
Like the number of atoms in the world or the universe isn't really that much compared to the size of this fucking library, and that's crazy.
Yeah, there's one thing I remember. Like eternity is like you're stuck at the bottom of a mountain. Every 1,000 years, a bird comes and flies to the top of the mountain and sharpens its beak and then flies away. When that mountain is whittled down to nothingness, that's the first second of eternity.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I remember hearing this book and I tried to do the audiobook of it. It wasn't available. And I was like, okay, it's just not one of those things. But hearing that it is a shorter book, maybe they just never
borrow it. Like I know you're not like a physical, but it is like
really quick.
It's a very tiny read. You could knock it out in 3 hours probably if you really tried.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I recommend this book. It's not like deep in story, deep in character, because that's not really what it's about. The closest book I would compare it to is like The Alchemist, where that was like about the hope that comes with spirituality and like sort of like the wonder of. It's like this is the complete opposite of just like now you're in hell and it's just existential dread and it's I love a good depiction of hell and like the interesting takes on it, whether it's Preacher, where they're like watching the worst day of their life over and over again, or What Dreams May Come, or Dante's Inferno, the video game, or whatever. Like I'm always interested to see different people's takes. And I haven't seen this one, and I never thought like not being tortured and just like reading books all day would be the worst possible thing, but it's fucking awful.
Yeah.
On top of all the other things that the humans go through that I won't say in case you want to read it.
Okay.
But there's a lot of fucked up stuff.
Hey, at least you get to sleep and you get to eat. You know, you're able to go, my day is over. I'm going to rest my head and I can have a nice meal.
Yeah. And you can't like I think there's like a 24-hour clock. Yeah. And you can try and stay up, but it won't let you. Like you always fall asleep within whatever. Okay. Like it always resets. But yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Sounds good. I watched a new movie on Amazon that you could watch right now. It's called The Bluff. Have you heard of this?
I don't think so. Who's in it?
This has oh my god, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Give me a second. All right, so The Bluff stars Priyanka Chopra Jonas and Carl Urban. It's like a pirate movie. It's directed by Frank E. Flowers. It's the story. So there's a lot going on here, but like Priyanka Chopra Jonas, she is living on an island with her kid, her husband, and her husband's sister, so her sister-in-law. She has had a past with pirating and has a past with Carl Urban. I won't get into all the nitty details, but she is separated from him and has stolen a bunch of his gold that has his mark on it. So Carl Urban, he is Captain Connor. Him and it has like a what's his name? Timuera Morrison, Django Fett. They are hunting down this gold and find the husband, get some information from him, and then they're going to this island that they live on. It's in the Caribbean. It's like one of the only places that has like the highest bluff on it. And yeah, they just invade this island and start murdering the fuck out of everyone. It's rated R. It's bloody as hell, super violent. There's a lot of really good action sequences. She's really crafty with like setting up traps and always outrunning the bad guys. It's just kind of like, I hate comparing everything to John Wick because it's not John Wick.
Yeah,
it's a little more grimy, rough and tumble. But I got
slightly more based in reality.
Yes and no.
Okay.
I mean, like, you can say he has a 6-shooter gun. 6-shooters weren't invented until like 10 years after this movie takes place.
Okay.
Things like that. They have like sniper rifles and they're very accurate. Yeah. But it kind of reminded me a little bit like Apocalypto in a way, but mainly that's like the setting and the violence more than like the tribes,
Got it.
And it's just like kind of a good time. It's just a bloody, violent, good time. And there's she does one thing. She's fighting a guy. He has dreads, and he's like choking her. And so she drops down, grabs his dreads, and like pulls his head down to hit the corner of a table, and then like pulls some of the dreads out, and then gets around him and takes a knife and stabs it right behind his knee, and then pulls it up. There's a lot of like that type of stuff where it's like, ooh, that's painful, and it's just kind of fucking cool.
Right. I like a good time.
Yeah.
And it was, what did you say you watched it again?
Amazon.
Oh, okay. The Bluff. Cool. All right. I will hit you with a movie now. Our friend Nick gave me a movie to watch quite a while ago.
Long time ago.
And I've been putting it off, not for any particular reason. It's just like either I'm watching something else or I'm like, all right, tonight's the night I'm going to watch. I'm like, I'm kind of tired. Plus, it is like a 2.5 hour movie.
Did you give it back to him?
I think so.
Oh.
I don't remember.
Because I would have just borrowed it from him, taken it from you.
Remind me after this podcast.
Okay.
I might still have it, but I thought I gave it back to him. I watched I Saw the Devil, a Korean film from like a decade or so back, starring the guy who was in No Other Choice and is
Park Chan-wook. No, that's the director of No Other Choice, right?
Yeah, but it's and he's also like one of the bad guys in Squid Game.
Okay.
He's kind of very recognizable Korean actor who's really come out in the past few years. Anywho, this movie is about a guy whose girlfriend is murdered by a serial killer, and he is a Secret Service agent in Korea, and it's about him going after the guy who murdered his girlfriend, and some of the other nefarious people he runs into in his quest for vengeance. And this movie is pretty fucking sweet. So you have not seen it, correct?
I have not.
So I won't spoil anything for you. But there is one part I had to sort of like squint, and I like heard about it. So that was a little bit of hard watch. This movie is quite violent and pretty fucked up, but not as like overtly violent or overtly. But it's just kind of is like your main lead. You don't really get much about him. He barely speaks, and I mean it's clear that he loved his girlfriend, but you never really get you never see like a flashback of their relationship.
Okay.
You like see him interact with her dad and I think her sister, and like clearly like they all like each other, but her dad was the police chief, and the guy who plays the serial killer, and it's not like a spoiler, like this is like the first 2 minutes of the movie. You see the guy's face and you know who it is and you see what he does, and it's just like it just goes. It's just like as soon as he starts getting an investigation of it all, like 15 minutes in the movie, it's just like going after the serial killer and other dudes, and it's just like fucking people up, and it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's like a blast, because I wouldn't say it's like a fun movie because it is so like kind of messed up and dour and not like a ton of fun, but it's just like also kind of nonstop action. It's hard for me to describe without getting into detail, so I'll wait till you watch it.
Okay.
But I didn't love it, but I really, really liked it. So I Saw the Devil. If you like violence and serial killer crime sort of thriller stuff. It's good stuff. Check out Korean cinema. They're making great shit over there. And then tune in for when Ben sees it, where I can actually talk about it, and my rambling makes some sense.
Cool. All right, well, keeping it on the violence train with serial killers, I saw Scream 7.
All right.
So
let's make this one quick.
So this one was one of those hard choices that you had to watch because of all the controversy with firing of Melissa Barrera for seemingly innocuous comments, having Jenna Ortega quit, the directors quit. Like, they had a plan for what this movie was supposed to be, and it sounded pretty cool, and it wrapped up their little trilogy. It would have been great. But they had to just kind of pull the handbrake, give Neve Campbell the money that she wanted, because like you can get what's her face from Friends, Courtney Cox back. She's easy. She's come back for all of them. But they underpaid Neve Campbell last time, so they had to pay her well. And I hope she got a pretty big bag, because this movie fucking sucks.
Like, yeah, just for context, I've only ever seen 1 and 6.
You didn't see 5? I thought I saw 5 and 6, but maybe
5 was the one with Alison Brie, right?
No, that's 4. 5 is the one with Jack Quaid. And 7 is the one in New York. Or 6 is the one in New York. With Samara Weaving dies at the beginning, and
maybe I saw
Jack
Quaid wasn't in 6?
No, it was his dad and brother and sister were the killers of that one.
Okay, I definitely saw 6. Did I watch 5?
That was Micah Monroe, not Micah Monroe. What's her name? Honora chick. What her name?
I don't think I watched 5. I think it was just 1 and 6.
Ooh, okay. Well, you saw the best one and one of the worst ones. Well, but there's something to like in all of them.
I kind of like 6. And one I did remember liking. I saw 1.
1 is great.
When I was 22.
It's an amazing horror movie, and people shit on 3. I think 3 is pretty good. I think 5 and 6 are the weakest ones. And this one, all the other ones had something enjoyable about them. An interesting twist, good kills, great suspense, something that makes you like it. This feels like the 4th, 5th, 6th draft of a roundtable pitching of like, well, who's the killer going to be this time? Well, can we bring back this person? Okay, well, what about this? Can we do that? And it's like, you settled on this? So I told you before, like last week, like, hey, I know we're not recording, so let me just tell you, I think it's going to be, I thought it was going to be Matthew Lillard and McKenna Grace. There's this little like Easter egg with all the Scream movies that if someone wears blue plaid, they're one of the killers. Mm-hmm. And in one of the shots, McKenna Grace is wearing a blue plaid skirt, and it's like, okay, they're keeping with it. Nope, she's one of the first ones to go. So, which I'm surprised, because she is a bigger name, and I think like the woman they got to play Neve Campbell's daughter, I don't think is very good. Maybe they could have swapped them. Anywho, all these characters are dumb, they're pointless, they're poorly written, they're not interesting. The reveal is, I called it, like I said, hey, I bet it's going to be this person for this reason. I saw it with Nick, and I was right on the person, but not the reason. Mm-hmm. And then someone else shows up where like they go to investigate at a mental institution, and Ethan Embry is a creepy orderly, and he's just like, hello, can I help you? And I'm just like looking at Nick like, okay, it's got to be him, right? Either he's the most obvious sort of like, look at the creepy guy, it must be him, and then it's not, or it's just him. And he was one of them. The killers are an orderly and her next door neighbor who wanted to make her go through all this again because she was inspired by the book she read. It's so convoluted and stupid. They use AI to bring back Stu Macher, but he's not back. He's dead. They pulled his file to make it seem like he was never showed up, and then lie to them and say, oh, he was at this mental institution just to fuck with Neve Campbell's head. It's so stupid. It is bottom of the barrel ideas. And I get not wanting to bring him back because everybody assumed they were going to do that. Hey, even I did. That's what they wanted to kind of do with 6 in a way. It was going to be the idea they had for 3 before Columbine happened, and then they had to change some of that stuff. So I get them going, you want this. I know you do. And they even talk about it, like bringing a legacy character like that back is stupid. And it's like, so it's a nice subverting, but why these people? And like nobody survives. All the kids fucking die except for any people like the brother and sister from the last 2. They survived, but like Ned Campbell's daughter's friends, every single one of them dies. It's pretty fucked up. I don't know. This is just like it's nothing. And I either this needs to be done or you really need to kill it next time in order to do a Scream 8. And I'm gonna pitch something that is not my idea. I saw it online and it's great. So one of the best Nightmare on Elm Streets is the very last one, New Nightmare. It is
with the Jackie Earle Haley.
No, that's the remake.
Okay.
No, New Nightmare is the last one that, like, in the canon timeline, where they're talking about like Nightmare on Elm Street are movies, and you're talking to Wes Craven, and you're talking to the guy who played Freddy and Nancy, and they're just kind of like, do we want to do another one? Should we just let it die? And then like the curse of Freddy kind of comes out of the movies to torture them in the real world. So the idea that I heard pitched was you do that with Scream. You bring back all the characters, even ones who are dead. You know, there could be the roundtable discussions of like, let's bring back Stu Macher. And like, it doesn't make any sense. His head got crushed. And then you could work in the Melissa Barrera stuff and go like, yeah, we kind of fired you, but you know, there's bad blood. We got to bring you back for the next one. But then in the quote unquote real world, someone is playing Ghostface and killing off these actors to either like kill the series so there is no more, or loves the series so much that art imitates life, you know, one of those. And I think that's the only way you can save it, because now it's just like it's random dudes who are being ghost-faced. It's so stupid. They're not integrated in their lives. And I thought the woman who was the next door neighbor was gonna like be an old friend, Stu Macher's little sister, something like that. Someone who that they could flash back and like fake a scene from Scream 1 where she's just in the background or something, but it's just, no, I read your book and I was inspired and now I'm going to do it. And she even like allows her own son to like get killed by the other Ghostface. It's stupid. It's stupid. And then the kills are so lame. There's one like McKenna Grace is like, she's on stage and she's up in a harness and she's swinging back and forth and Ghostface is just like letting her swing and is slashing at her. That's like pretty inventive. One guy gets his head put on like there's a beer tap and like gets impaled on the back of his head and then pulls his head forward and all the beer starts coming out of his mouth. Cool. But everything else is like someone is on the bar and goes through a bunch of glasses like it's a bar fight. Yeah. And then they fall on the ground. They have a huge chunk in their neck and they're already dead. Like, that's fucking lame. Like, you take the head and you smash on a glass and then you smash on another one. And then, you know, and so you can see the damage. There's just like some really tame shit in this. Bad movie, D+ just for that beer kill.
Was this PG-13 or R?
No, it's R. Okay. For sure. No Scream. Go for it. No Scream has ever been PG-13. Okay. They're always.
I wasn't sure if they were trying to like corner not corner, but like that would the younger crowd.
That would be absolutely ridiculous.
Cash. Okay.
But I feel bad, but at least if I had to pay cash for this movie, I would have paid money for a different movie that I liked and then just snuck in just to kind of be a part of the boycott. But it was my birthday. I had to see another. It's been 30 years since the first Scream movie. I had to see it. Call me a scab or whatever, you know, a piece of shit. But since
who cares if you see a movie, man?
No, it's part of the horror community is kind of like we're all boycotting this one because they did a fucked up shit based on their racism. So don't support it. Let it tank. And if I had to pay real money, I would have just paid for a different movie, but I got the Regal Pass, so it doesn't really matter.
All right, fair enough. So I'm going to hit you with a double feature.
Okay.
We briefly talked about one off air a little bit, but I finished Volume 2 of Absolute Batman.
Yeah.
So I have now read the first, I think like 24 issues or something like that of Absolute Batman. This completed the Bane Abomination arc. So arc 1 was just like Batman is like just kind of like still new to Gotham, taking down the super violent gang run by Black Mask. Now it's the Bane storyline where Bane comes in. He's this monster man psycho, and they're building Arc M is the name of it. It's
because there's like Arc A, Arc B,
across the world. Arc M is the one in Gotham that they're building, that they're using for like that they're locking up people in and like doing experiments. And Batman's trying to figure out like what's going on over there. And Bane is hired by the JK Corporation, and you're like, who could that be?
Oh,
It's Joker. And Bane is fucking awesome in this. He looks like Bane is not his design isn't anything like super different necessarily, but he's very smart and well spoken and like clearly has a plan and agenda, and he is the one who sort of creates Batman's rogues gallery through one action because all of Batman's friends are all of his friends are villains, but they're just like not villains currently.
Yeah.
They're just his buddies.
They haven't had their one bad day.
And Bane gives it to all of them. And how he creates them is like fucked up and horrible, especially Penguin. Penguin gets the worst run of all of them. And Batman, he gets taken, he's tortured, he's jacked up on Venom. When Bane is ingesting Venom, he becomes like bigger, and I mean, we're talking like Akira level kind of stuff.
3 stories tall.
Yeah, like he is not a human being anymore.
And he wants Batman to like embrace the Venom.
Yeah. Because Bane's goal is to basically, Batman's going to take my place so I don't have to do this bullshit anymore. Yeah. Because Bane has done this to like other people, but they've all died during the process. But obviously Batman's will is so strong, and it refuses to be broken, even though he's like being tortured for months on end. And of course, like it all like culminates into this fight with Bane, and that is just like a ton of fucking fun. Like Batman wielding an axe, chopping at a 3-story tall muscle man, pumped full of venom, while Killer Croc comes out and he's fighting him too. And Killer Croc's design's crazy, but this is the most. I mean, obviously, there's been very metal versions of Batman and other stuff like the Batman Who Laughs and shit is very like metal, even though I haven't read that story.
I hear it's not great.
Yeah, I hear it's not great, but his design's super cool.
The designs are amazing. Yeah.
But I fucking love Absolute Batman and everything they're doing here. I hear Absolute Superman and Wonder Woman is great. I don't know if I care that much, but it's a new fun take on Batman where he's like still not killing people, but he's not afraid to like chop limbs off and stuff. Like he's cutting arms off left and right. This is a much like, I don't want to say darker take because they've always been dark, but like all of his villains are like very bad, very, very, very bad people who are doing very, very awful things. Except for now his new created Rogues Gallery. We haven't seen them do anything yet. I mean, I'm sure there's things happening in newer issues as they come out. This comic's only been going for like a little over a year or two.
Well, you said you did 24 issues, right? That's 2 years right there.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe it's been like 3 years. Comics take a long time.
They do.
Anyway.
They take a long time even if they're on time.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate because like now I'm basically caught up because only volume 1 and 2 are out.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to be waiting for these volumes to come out and read them as
I'd say go to Superman. It's different for sure, and it's not nearly as wild, but it's a cool take.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see like how, like, is Batman just going to stay in Gotham only dealing with Batman villains, or will Absolute Superman and Wonder Woman come in? Will there just be a separate thing where the Absolute Justice League, where it's like, okay, well, we're not really like intersecting these stories too much. Now they're just going to have their own collected adventure.
Well, the Absolute Justice League is villains. It's like a team of like 6 villains, and they think they're doing good, so they are the Absolute Justice League.
Interesting.
But, yeah.
Either way, you told me this universe is created by Darkseid and from other comic storyline, right? And that's how it branches off into this, and that's how they're justifying the storyline. Either way, all I'm saying is, if you haven't read Absolute Batman and you like Batman comics, it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Alfred's cool. He's doing his own thing. I don't think there's Robins yet.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But like Harley runs the Red Hoods.
Yeah, Harley runs the Red Hood gang. She teams up with Batman for a minute. There's just all these different things that are happening, and I'm interested to see where they go. I believe Poison Ivy's like the next
big
villain that's kind of happening right now.
Have you done where like Batman does kind of like a side mission where he's helping like kind of rednecks and like some clan members show up?
No.
Okay, I think he has a little side mission where he beats the fuck out of a bunch of police.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's great.
I have not seen that yet. No. Yeah. So there's Absolute Batman, loving it.
Okay.
I will follow it up real quick. I read another Batman thing. So DC Comics has released a compact comic series where basically like every month they're releasing a famous storyline from the DC canon or whatever. So you have like Batman's The Long Halloween, Watchmen.
But on like manga size.
But like manga size. And they're all $10.
That's
and I was like, $10 for these comics that are usually like $25, $30, sometimes $50 for these collections. I don't like. That's my main reason I don't buy more comics because they're expensive as fuck.
Yeah, and they're like 12 issues, and you're like, well, that was $30 after a half hour.
Yeah, and I'll probably not read this again.
Yeah,
but for $10 a pop, and I'm into it. And I bought like 7 of them already, all Batman except for V for Vendetta and Watchmen. And I've already read Watchmen, but it's just like it's a classic comic.
You gotta have it so when your son starts reading, you can eventually give.
That being said, the like covers aren't necessarily my favorite thing.
Sure.
Like the Watchmen graphic novel, like iconic imagery of the yellow with the smiley face. You don't have it's just Rorschach's face.
Yeah.
So that's kind of lame, but it's fine. I'm not going to complain about $10. My only qualm is like as I'm reading some of them, like the pages are like because they're condensing them. Like I have to like really try and like open the page and like kind of peek into the crack because like some of the words are like really in there.
Okay.
That's barely happens. Yeah. It's a minor annoyance thing, but I don't want to like peel it back too much and like bend the spine.
Yeah, but like I'm not precious when it comes to books of peeling them back. Like some people, like you could only open it 45 degrees, and you got to do your best to read it because you got to preserve that spine. I don't give a fuck. I'll bend it all the way back. If it has like a slip cover, I'll save it. I'll take it off and save it because they're annoying to have on. But I've seen people like they just throw those away and they're like,
that's depends on the slip cover.
That's a bit much. And also, does the book cover itself have a cover, or is it like a blank generic thing? Because if you need it for an identifier, you got to kind of have it. But I'm not too precious about like not breaking that spine.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
I mean, with hardcovers, it's different, but I don't buy hardcovers because they're more expensive. I just wait for this paperback. Anyway, we're getting off track. So most of the comics I've bought, I've already read. I'm just a big fan of Batman. But there's one I haven't read, and it was Batman, The Court of Owls saga, which a lot of people has pitched it's a very popular saga. A lot of people pitched it as the next Batman 2, the Matt Reeves one, where they think, like, oh, that might be the next good Batman storyline. But I didn't really know much about The Court of Owls, other than I knew, like, people liked this storyline. I fucking love The Court of Owls.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I really, really liked it. It might be I mean, it's been a while since I've read some of the other comics, but I'm going to say it's probably like my 3rd favorite Batman comic I've read after No Man's Land and the White Knight stuff so far. I haven't read Beyond the White Knight yet, but I loved 1 and 2. So, for those who don't know, Court of Owls is Batman is investigating this possible secret society that has been rumored to be in Gotham, but he doesn't believe exists, and it may have connection to his parents' murder, but they're like basically the rich elites of Gotham have built a secret society and how they and they run all the corruption and how Gotham functions and basically caused all this like problems. They're the beating heart of crime in Gotham for their own like sick entertainment and greed. And it's up to Batman to find them and try and bring them down. And it's just a real good time. I love the art style. I loved the story and the dialogue. It all flowed really well. It all made sense and was interesting. And you get all of little like Batman's whole team is there. They're not really there a whole lot. There's some stuff with Dick Grayson where he shows up, but it's not like Nightwing is like necessarily helping him do stuff. But like Nightwing does exist, and Robin does exist, and Red Hood exists, and Batwoman exists. Like they're all just in the background.
Because I bet you read a lot of Batman where it's Batman and just Batman, like not necessarily his whole crew.
Yeah, I would love to get some more whole crew stuff, but it seems like the most popular Batman stuff is just Batman doing his own thing.
Yeah,
which is kind of a shame. But there are the Talons, which are like the assassins for the Court of Owls. They look super cool.
Because they're in the Gotham Knights video game. They're one of the major points, and they are very cool to fight.
Yeah. And sort of their lore. You never read it?
No.
I guess? Okay. Yeah. Well, then I don't necessarily want to spoil it for you because you like Batman stuff,
right? I do like Batman.
Or if you're not going to read it, I suggest like just watching a video on it, I guess on YouTube. But I had a great time with Court of Owls. It does. If I have one major issue with it, it does get a little too comic booky at the end in terms of just like, oh well, now one with his like where a certain connection with the Court of Owls could or could not be. And just like, oh, it just kind of feels like, why does everything have to have like a connection to another thing? And it just ends up being like a one-on-one fight with a like Iron Man, but who looks like an owl.
Okay. Kind of like the end of the Wolverine where he's fighting a big robot samurai. Like, oh, this is where we're leading to?
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. It's not the most ridiculous thing. That being a good example. But yeah, I think this storyline's pretty fucking sweet. And I really, really enjoyed it. So highly recommend Court of Owls. I'm on a real Batman kick, and I'm digging it. Shout out Batman, and
if you're listening, Batman,
yeah, and Bob Kane, I guess, who created or two guys created. I forget the lore.
There's a couple.
Yeah. But yeah, Batman's fucking sweet.
Cool. I saw last week's main topic, or what would have been How to Make a Killing with Glenn Powell and Margaret Qualley and a couple others. I really like this movie too. It's not great. It's not perfect. It probably could use a little more style. I kept thinking if like Edgar Wright had this, it kind of like needs a really good soundtrack to kind of punch it up. It has the look of what I think like if Tarantino was directing this, it kind of has that look, but it doesn't have the soul, it needs a little more of a beating heart. And pretty much his mom got pregnant when she was young, was part of a huge rich family. Her father said, abort it or you're out of the family. She decides to keep it and raise him, just to be a good, normal person. And then realizes if he kills off his family members, there's 7 family members he has to kill off, he would be the only person left in the will. Because the will was already created before he was even born. And it's like kind of locked in stone. So he would be the only surviving person of this very rich family. And then like Margaret Qualley's there kind of like, as soon as you get all that money, maybe we can date, yeah, she's she's a super bitch in this. And he has to start killing them one by one. You gotta have to suspend your belief that he's able to get away with some of these things. Some of them are like all I had to do was, give this guy a coffee with some sleeping pills in it, and he crashed his plane. Like, how'd you even get close enough to hand him that coffee? That you were on his runway, handing him with his whole team, and no one said, "Wait, who's this guy?" So there's some of that, but I think it's fun. It's a good time. There's some, and who doesn't like seeing shitty assholes get their comeuppance? And there's plenty of that. But it's like, I would think it's a very average C+ movie, but I liked it more than that. So yeah. I'll give it like a B minus because I did enjoy it, but I am over Glenn Powell. This guy, he is perfectly adequate at doing every role that he's doing. I can't stand looking at his face anymore. He looks like Patrick Bateman. Like, he looks like a sociopath. There's something dead in there. His smile, the lines on his face, there's something about him that if it came out that he did something fucked up, I'd believe it. You know? I'm not on the Glenn Powell train. I can't see him being like, oh, I hope he gets one of the X-Men characters or some other sort of superhero thing. He should be Booster Gold. You're like, I don't really want to see him in things anymore. You know, good for you. We gave it a shot. You know, he had his twisters and stuff, but he's not a leading man. Sorry. Let's get him the fuck out of here.
I liked Hitman.
I liked Hitman too. He was in Top Gun Maverick. Yeah, he's in tons of stuff that I like. Running Man just proved he can't carry it by himself. And even though I think he has the look for someone in this movie, I don't really like him. Sorry. But still, pretty good movie.
I have one last thing, and then I just have the 3 main topics.
Okay. Jesus, let's get going.
Okay. So my last thing is I read a book called Fool's Errand. It is book 1 in the Tawny Man trilogy, which is the 3rd trilogy in the Realm of the Otherlings by Robin Hobb.
Oh my God, Robin Hobb, you're obsessed.
I've read more Joe Abercrombie books than Robin Hobb.
Sure, no, I'm saying she's obsessed. Oh. Just like there's so many trilogies within series.
Yeah, there's 4 trilogies and 1 quadrilogy.
All in the same world.
Yeah. The first trilogy was the Farseer trilogy about Fitz and his becoming an assassin for the Farseer family. And then the next trilogy is a separate storyline about magical pirate ships that come alive. And then we're back with Fitz for this trilogy and all your favorite characters from that first trilogy.
How old is he now?
It's 15 years later, so he's like 35 or like 34, around there. He has, so this book takes place, like I said, 15 years in the future. He's left his assassin life behind. He now lives in isolation, essentially, with his adopted son in this cabin. And everyone, except for one or 2 people, essentially knows he's alive. Everyone else assumes that he is dead. But long story short, he gets a call back from his former master and ask him to come back to Buckkeep and help find the queen's son who has gone missing. And then it's just his adventure with him and the Fool, who's now under the guise of Lord Golden. For anyone who doesn't know, the Fool is fantastic character from the first trilogy, who was like the court jester, who was actually like secretly kind of like a magical being without. It's kind of hard to describe without getting into it, but he's more than human, but now he's left that disguise behind, and now he's kind of pretending to be a nobleman, and it's just their quest to get the prince back in time. So for anyone who doesn't know, Robin Hobb doesn't really do much action. It's all slow building. It's all character work. But she is my favorite fantasy author because despite these books being quote unquote slow, I'm never bored. I'm always engaged because every emotion that they're feeling makes sense. Every choice that they make, whether it's for their benefit or against their benefit, makes sense because everything that character is had happened to them, or the choice they make, it all is very believable. I think no one does characters better than her. They all feel very real, and her magic system in terms of wit magic, which is what people use to talk to animals and form bonds with their animals.
Well, that's naughty. Right?
Which some people believe is the devil's magic, essentially. And then there's the skill magic, which pretty much only the Farseer line, not only the Farseer, some people just kind of get it randomly, but most people aren't trained in it because it was kind of was killed off essentially. But there's people who have small aptitudes for it, which that has a bunch of powers I won't get into. But he has both powers, so that's what makes him super cool. And Robin Hobb also knows how to just torture all your favorite people. The first trilogy, Fitz was put through the ringer. A lot of bad stuff happened to him, and you're just damn, this guy is going through it. And he's only he starts out at 6 years old at the first book. But even like the animals are so like realized characters.
What's
like
his wolf's name?
Night Eyes.
Yeah.
And I fucking love Night Eyes and his interpretation of how things should be. And Wolf, but like the wolf becomes more human, and Fitz becomes more like animalistic, and they just like their bond is awesome. They're great characters. And so now I'm reading book 2, but Fool's Errand. I would say not as strong as the first trilogy so far, but it's still just great.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, like I said, it's not very action heavy. There's like 2 action scenes really, but I just liked all of it. It's a good time. If you like a slow burn, if you like character work and interesting magic that is also like all makes sense, and like even if there's stuff that isn't explained, it will be,
Mm-hmm.
and how it just flows, and you don't need to read the Mad Ship Traders trilogy, which is the trilogy in between.
Mm-hmm.
You can just jump from the first trilogy to this one because the second trilogy has nothing to do with this. They might make like references to things in that world, but it's really not necessary. Robin Hobb is the goat of fantasy for me. So yeah, if you like fantasy, if you like uh, castles and intrigue and magic and good characters, check out Robin Hobb's shit. She's very, very good at what she does.
Yeah. I really did enjoy that world, but when it got to like dragon statues being brought back to life,
the third book
I
was
was
kind of
like,
rough.
"What is this?" And it turned me off
warned
completely.
you that though before you started. I was like, the third book there is a stretch where it's like 200 pages of everyone kind of like standing around.
Yeah.
But I was just happy to see these characters again because this was the series that like got me into reading. And as soon as I was like seeing the names again, I'm like, man, I miss these guys, which I've like never had in a book before. So yeah, but I just may be biased because like I've now ingrained that this is like my favorite author and these are the books I like, and I just like her style. Like if you can like make a book where people are just like talking and walking around and going to do something important, but like not do that important thing till like 400 pages in, I'm still like, hell yeah, brother, I'm all in. I think that says something to the quality of her writing, which I really appreciate. So Fool's Errand, book 1, Tawny Man trilogy, which I also hear this trilogy is, some people think it's the best of all of her trilogies. But we'll see.
Okay.
But as for her first book, I'm into it. We'll see what book 2 and 3 bring on.
And book 3 is out as well. Like,
as far as I can tell, I think she's just done. I don't think she's put out a book since the last adventure with Fitz.
So
I think her realm is over with.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't even have to talk about these, but I'll bring them up real quick.
Okay.
I saw the Al Yankovic story.
The Daniel Radcliffe one?
Yeah. It's been on,
I've been meaning to see it.
Because it's a Roku thing.
Yeah.
You can't get it anywhere else. I don't have a Roku. So
I have a Roku. And I just haven't watched it.
Yeah. So I was at the library and I saw it there and I was like, fuck it. I'll do it. Which my library is doing video games now. So
awesome.
So I loved it. I thought it was really funny. It's a good time. It would be an all-time classic if Walk Hard didn't exist. Walk Hard is the perfect parody. You will not do a parody biopic better than that. It does it all. And so Weird could have been this like touchstone, this amazing thing, especially since it is based off of a real person. And there's so many fun little cameos like was it Jorma from Lonely Island is like Pee Wee Herman, Jorma. Rainn Wilson is Dr. Demento. Fucking Conan O'Brien's in it. Just Madonna, like someone playing as Madonna.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on, and it is really funny. But Walk Hard will always be the king of that. And then I saw a movie called Beast of War. It is it's based on a true story. They take liberties, of course, but it's during World War II, this Australian ship is heading into battle. It gets sunk. They're in waters that
the ship is named the Beast of War, I assume?
No. They are floating on wreckage, and there's a killer shark in the water.
Okay.
And apparently this happened. It was like 45, or it was a bunch of them, and they were stuck on the water for like 49 days.
Jesus.
With sharks coming after them and Japanese pilots shooting at them. So they were in for it. This movie's awesome. Killer shark movies are one of my favorites. It's one of the scariest things in the world. They do a really fun thing where they hear a sound and it's like other survivors, and he has like an air raid siren, and it's like busted, so it's making this haunted sort of sound.
Awesome.
And then that guy gets eaten, but he takes it and he jams it into the shark. So when the shark is going, like the air is blowing through it, and you just hear it going like, "Whoa," like it's really creepy and it's very effective.
At nighttime and open water would shit my pants.
I mean, there's even like a kamikaze pilot that tries to shoot him, and they have a gun, and they see that they actually shot him and it went down, but he floats to them and they have like a sword fight. Like it's crazy, but it's really well lit, good gore. They don't shy away from any of the effects. It's a good Aussie time.
5.4 on it.
Yeah, it's a killer animal movie. But I had a good time watching
That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, let's get to one of our main topics.
All right, you want to do the game, the show, or the movie first?
I say the show. I think it's the least amount.
Okay. You and I finished Night of the Seven Kingdoms, or Night of the Nine Kingdoms, depending on how you and I take the last episode.
What?
Because at the end of the last episode, or near the end of the last episode, he's like, "We can go anywhere in the Seven Kingdoms," and he's like, the kid's like, "There's 9 kingdoms." He's like, "No, there's not." And it's like, "Yeah." And then he names the 9 kingdoms. And then later there's a tat, because you know how every episode opens with like, a night of 7 kingdoms. It closes with a night of the 9 kingdoms.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
You didn't catch that?
I didn't catch that. I don't even remember him saying that.
Pay attention, Ben.
Jesus Christ.
So, Ben, Night of the 7 Kingdoms takes place in the Game of Thrones universe by George R.R. Martin, or Song of Ice and Fire universe, whatever you want to call it. Takes place roughly 100 years before Game of Thrones, 200 years after House of the Dragon. 6 episodes. Ben, what did you think of Night of the Seven Kingdoms on the whole?
I know a lot of people don't like House of the Dragon. It's very dour. It's not fun. There's a lot going on. Every episode feels kind of like homework, where you have to be like, who are these people again? It's not a show to get excited about, but it's a very well made show. Great effects.
It has some great moments.
There's some
the dragons are incredible,
and I love the actors.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that show other than like it's kind of a bummer.
It's kind of a bummer. You don't have the Tyrion there to lighten it up. Yep. Everybody is just the worst, and this is the complete opposite. It's lighthearted. It's fun. It still has stakes. But it's just a simple story. It's not overthrowing entire kingdoms and who should be on the throne. It's a time of peace, and it's just a fun little tournament. And it's people proving themselves. Maybe someone steps over the line, and there are some bigger ramifications because of it. Pretty much like everything that happens in Game of Thrones, like happens because a thing happens here, but you don't feel the effects. And that's more for, I think, the people who need to know every character's name and lineage and everything. Sure. If you're just watching this for what it is, it's a great time because our 2 leads are really awesome. They're so good at what they do. They're very likable, and you just want to see them, go do fun things.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with a coworker today where the topic of like Ted Lasso and shrinking came up, and I was just like, you know what? I'm at the point in my life where there's so many shows, because she was trying to pitch me to watch Paradise.
I've been wanting to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah, and she said she really, really likes it, and it's a kind of a apocalyptic kind of thing, and like and the way she described it kind of made it sound like Silo, and it's just, and there's also Fallout. There's just so many shows that are like, look how awful the future is, and look how awful everything is, and everyone, or like they have your anti-hero characters like Walter White and fucking Don Draper and all the stuff, where it's like, even if they're like fun characters to watch, they're doing horrible stuff all the time. Where this is just like, where Shrinking and Ted Lasso are just like not only funny, but they're just like, it's about nice people doing nice things. Where this is like not necessarily in the same camp as Ted Lasso and Shrinking, but it is funny, and it is about mostly good people trying to do good things
for this world. They're pretty nice.
This world, and then like kind of inspiring other people to be nice. Which I just really dug. Every episode of the show made me laugh. It scratch that fantasy itch that I love.
Yeah.
It's still violent. It's still George R. R. Martin's world. It still has all the houses and how their actions affect the little people. But it's about the little people, and like despite these big gargantuan houses, like these little people still have lives, and they still want to like make something of themselves. And it's just a story of a dude who only wants to be a knight to because it's the right thing to do, and he wants to protect people, and he wants to like make a name for himself because he's never had anything his entire life except this knight who took him in, and now he has a little buddy who turns out to be more than he seems initially. But I love them together. Both actors are fantastic. That little kid, especially in the back half of the season, is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, I would not be surprised if he gets a supporting actor nom for the Emmys, which I think would be awesome for a kid who's like 10.
Yeah.
So I think they're both great. And sort of like the last 2 episodes aren't as funny because you're dealing with like the after, or either like the big event of the season, or the aftermath of that, where the first 4 were kind of more fun and like funny. But like this is all the character stuff. This is like all the big moments from Game of Thrones that you want. So I love the show. It's my favorite show of the year so far. I mean, we're only 2 months in, so we'll see what else happens. But I can't wait for season 2. From what I've heard, I mean, we only have 3 published stories of Dunk and Egg, although we know pretty much how their story ends, and there's like little snippets between all the like Game of Thrones books and other stuff that like mentions these 2 characters. They're both very famous characters in this world. But apparently, I don't know if this is correct, but what I heard is that George has like 13 story ideas for these characters.
Sure you do, George.
That he just hasn't
finish your mainline series, asshole.
Written yet. So I don't know if we'll see more written adventures of Dunk and Egg, but I think worst case scenario or best case scenario, depending on how you look at it, George is like, here's my ideas. You write how they go.
Yeah.
Which I think, honestly, is probably for the best.
Yeah, because it's not like they stay 100% accurate to everything anyways. So as long as they know the big themes, the things that need to happen in the end for other things that have already been established, let them go wild. You let 2 dipshits ruin your fucking mainline series, so why not let someone else take over this?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to get into defending them or not defending them, but I think it's interesting to say, like, well, let's let someone else just take the reins and write something interesting. But we have seen, like, from the Game of Thrones TV show, the first 4 seasons, roughly, are, like, some of the best television ever put on television.
Sure.
And it's because they had a lot of source material to work with, and thus creating, having George's, like, script, essentially, gave them the keys to make amazing television, along with an endless budget from HBO. And then once they ran out of material, then it got bad. And then you have House of the Dragon, which is just based on like lore. There is no like real set like dialogue between these characters.
It's just like people reminiscing on the stuff, right?
People are writing the show based off of like, like a maester wrote the story of this war, and people are now turning it into a TV show. But there isn't really, George's writing that he's so good at to like sprinkle in that show, and it's still really, really good. But it's also like it's kind of a mixed bag because like there is material, but it's not the same as Game of Thrones.
You can't lift exact passages out.
Exactly. So it's like now this is you have the first 3 seasons, you're probably good to go. After that will be the deciding factor of like, okay, what happens next?
I don't know. Lock him in a room. Like, you have enough to do your next 2 seasons. You go, all right, talk it out. You're not going to write them. You're going to take as long as you need, but you're just going to talk us out. And then he can talk for 15 hours about what he thinks the story is, saying anything that he needs to. This line has to put in, but like,
I think you write the scripts, you send them to George. George, do some punch up.
Sure.
Or like adds a scene here and like, oh, this works, but I would change this thing.
Yeah.
And,
we need a line here that really.
Yeah, because like it's clear George is super fucking talented and has written some amazing books with amazing.
But now that he's rich, he's got like
I'm
cocaine and whores to.
Because at the end of the day, if he decides I don't give a fuck about any of you, I'm not writing anymore, then that's his prerogative.
It's true, but it just seems like what a waste to spend so much time.
But that being said, 97 Kingdoms, love it, recommend it to everybody. It's great. 30-minute long episodes, pretty much.
It's a 3.5 hour movie max.
Super tight, and just a blast from start to finish with characters that you love, and even standout characters who like may come into more play later, like Lionel Baratheon and Raymond Fossaway, who was just like the best bro you could ask for after like not knowing each other. Who's just going to be his own Lord of Apples or whatever. Just because
I heard that the next story is them going to Dorne, so we probably won't see any of these other characters. We'll have a whole cavalcade of new people.
Yeah, that'll be the interesting thing of like, will next season, will they do flashes away? Because pretty much all the Dunk and Egg stories are just like from Dunk and Egg's perspective. So will it cut away to these characters who have like become fan favorites to sort of include them more?
Nah.
Or will it just be like, nope, we're going all new cast of characters, you're just getting Dunk and Egg, and that's it.
And then if you could always bring them back later, because I don't know what the third story is, but that fourth, fifth, sixth story, oh, look, we're back in Westeros, and it's our good friend Baratheon, you could bring them back. We don't need them.
I remember the first story pretty well. 2 and 3, I'm a little foggy on. Like, I know, no spoil. I think the second story, like, involves, like, a wedding or something like that.
Okay.
But I really couldn't tell you anything. I'll have to look up some stuff, but I think it's going to be, at least for the next 2 years, a good time.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say is there was an episode where they make like some breakfast sandwiches, right? Like it shows them cooking and they like have the eggs and they make like they have toast and stuff. I know they made it breakfast sandwiches.
Okay, I don't remember.
How do you not do a crossover with Dunkin' Donuts when it's called like Dunkin' Egg and have the Dunkin' Egg sandwich? It just seems like it does all the work for you.
Yeah, I don't know if HBO markets like that.
I know, you don't.
But it seems like a slam dunk. A slam dunk in.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn it.
That
was unintentional.
It seems like the perfect thing to do, but whatever, it's fine.
I think that if anything, that'll be a next season thing. It's like, well, we don't want to market it this way because what if it's fucking stupid?
Yeah.
But now the show's popular, like do that. Yeah. But 97 Kingdoms or 9, good shit.
All right. On to the next thing. Dispatch. Yeah, we just finished. Let's see. We are an hour and 29 minutes in, so an hour and 30 minutes ago, we finished Dispatch.
Dispatch is a video game where you make dialogue choices, and there is a gameplay element of like dispatching your ragtag group of former villains to the city to help save various people, but you never see them do it. It's all just like through dialogue and everything, and it's just a story of a former non-superpowered superhero who takes a job as essentially like a police dispatcher to send out these people, and like how he sort of takes these ragtag group of losers and turns them into true heroes.
Yeah. It's Bad News Bears, but for superhero cops.
This game is very adult. There is coarse language and violence and plenty of nudity. And I thought it was a great fucking time.
I loved it.
This game is great. It's not a 2-player game, but Ben and I played it as 2 players, where he made some decisions, I made some decisions, and I wouldn't say we were great at it, but I really loved all of these characters and had a good time, and was kind of on the edge of my seat in terms of like, all right, how I think our choices will make the story go this way, but then there's twists where it goes this way, and it kept me guessing, and it's relatively short. I guess like 8 hours or less, because like it's 8 chapters. I'd say each chapter is probably less than an hour.
Some are longer than others, but
I think the gameplay element might push it to roughly 45 minutes
an
hour.
Yeah.
But if you take away the gameplay element, you're basically just watching a movie that like you're choosing the dialogue for.
Because I wonder about that. If we failed every dispatch that we did, we let the timers run out, we sent the wrong amount of people, would we get a game over? would these characters die? Would they just go, hey man, you're fired, and that's the end? And it's like, try again,
Yeah, I mean, would we fail, or would it just be like, okay, well, they're just gonna revert to villains because they clearly can't be heroes kind of decisions.
But does that change the whole ending,
Which they are required to be.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, do they just make fun of you? And that's the only real thing, is because we level up these characters, but does it really matter? Oh, we are able to solve this problem, but in the long run,
that's the Google search.
It's like they had this idea for a story. They wanted to turn it into a game, but they couldn't just do dialogue stuff. We gotta have to have a game element, and so they said, "Well, it's a dispatching thing. Let's do that." But does it really have ramifications outside that story?
Yeah,
that I'm not so sure.
I wish it had a more emotional beat. I think the stuff that you get with Chase, that's all very good and handled very well. And maybe there is some scenes that I've been like, oh man, this scene hits pretty well, but we just didn't choose that path.
Yeah. I'm a little more extreme when it comes to making the choices. I notice, want to tell a better story, where I'm jumping. I'm fine with burning a bridge to get a crazy response, and if we're jumping back and forth between that, it may start.
I struggle with some of our choices because yes, you're correct. I try and get the best story. If I was writing this thing or this, I just want the best story because that's what I want in any game or any book or any movie I play. But then you are I want a little bit more chaos because why would I?
I'm willing to hit that guy. You would try to talk your way out of it.
And I'm not saying I would necessarily choose the good guy option. I mean, I tend to lean that way. But if no, I think doing this bad dialogue will pay off in a good way later, then I will do that.
But it's so impossible to tell what really did. Sometimes.
And the things you say a lot of times aren't necessarily the things that you speak. It's just this is the stop, but it's really hey, don't do that. Blah 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 blah. It's oh well, that sounded meaner than you know what I mean.
But then also some of them it's just an option for you to hear that dialogue and doesn't really affect the story because the next line they're going to say is going to be the same regardless of what we say, and it's only very very specific key points that they will remember it, and it branches the story.
So we have a bunch of characters. Who was your favorite character out of the group? Did you have one? Did you not?
Okay. We
not. There's the one that we use the most.
Sure, there's Sonar because he's a cool bat creature. He's suave. He's honestly, awesome, but he doesn't have much of a character.
Yeah, honestly, the worst character in the game.
Probably, yeah.
Just from a sheer character standpoint, there isn't much one there because he doesn't really speak.
Yeah, and when he does speak, he has such a normal voice that when you hear him and you're not looking at him, I don't know that it's him that's talking. Yeah. It could just be someone else and I'm not paying attention. And it's hard to pick because I like the blonde bomber. I think she's a good character. Blazer. I think she's a good character, but it's you're supposed to say Invisigal, but she kind of fucking sucks, so I don't want to like her. So is it just our...
She's just complicated.
Yeah, you can change her. Is it, what's his name? John Johnson? Our main guy? Robert Robertson. It's is he the best? Because he is very quippy. But if I'm going to have to choose just for style, it's Malvova. She's awesome. Yeah. Daisy Duke, wife beater tank top wearing demon chick with a huge sword. Amazing.
That teleports.
Teleports. Hell yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely the most, I think, utility-wise, probably best hero. But I feel she doesn't get enough stuff to do. I feel there's some people on the team that kind of take a back seat. She's one of them.
It almost seems the team is too big.
Yeah. Which if they do more, seasons of this game show game, show game. You could show off some more of these characters, or you just do a different dispatcher with a different team.
Sure.
Because there's so many background characters who work at this office that you see their powers sometimes, some of them you don't, and you're like, well, what's going on with them?
Yeah, and then we have the Phenomena Man.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, I'm not even a human. Like, okay, are we just supposed to assume you're Superman? Your
Pretty
planet
much.
was blown up, but like, it just like, okay, are we supposed to just kind of look at him as like Superman and Omni Man and just shut up about it? It seems like he's the big major superhero of this world, and we don't really get much with him except he's a sad sack.
Yeah.
So it's like I almost wish we pared down the team a bit and we got more time with everyone.
Yeah.
So no one is left behind because you just get a kind of a sprinkling of everybody. Like you could take out the short, punchy guy, even though he was fun and all, you could take him out. You could take probably Prism out and tighten up the team. Fuck Fuego, but I know we need to have like a flambe, whatever. We need him on it, but like everybody just gets it's like spread it a little too thin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily know if I would want this game to be longer, but if there was a version where you got there was just one episode that was an interview process where you made choices and however you talk to each individual character maybe gave them a boost or gave them a decrease. It affected them in some way of how they came back to the team, or maybe your one-on-one went so poorly that they quit.
Yeah.
Or
you
they were going to quit, and then depending on the choices, you convinced them to stay.
Yeah, and if they started with 12 and you got to pick 7 of them, and then those other ones you don't see ever again, and then
they come back in the final thing and be like, "We're here to kill you."
Sure.
Oh man, I win.
And then every time you play through, you could pick a different team, and it changes the dynamic.
It's interesting going from something like Baldur's Gate 3, which just has infinite choices and a 200 plus hours and you can still not beat the game, versus this where 8 hours in you're going to beat this game and there's only 3 choices at any given time, so there's really not that much to work with. But if they do adapt this into a show, I would happily watch that show. I think it's a ton of fun and it translates well because it pretty much already is a show.
But I don't want it to be the cutscenes cut together for a show and then they add a bit more. I think if they're gonna adapt this, you need to completely change the look. Like, it needs to advance its animation much higher. Maybe it's 100% computer, not Pixar levels, but it needs to look more lifelike, or you do it live action. I don't want it to look like Invincible.
Yeah.
I don't want it to look exactly like this. If you're gonna adapt it, make it worth adapting and give me a live action version of it.
Yeah, I think I either want a live action or, I'm not sure if I agree. I think I could see it Invincible or Legend of Vox Machina style.
Sure.
It's just based off American animation.
It's already there, It's easy,
but as long as there's it can still be this same beats, but I need to see something different than what the game would have provided. Because it's not, the game kind of goes I think in general, will you go Blonde Blazer or will you go Invisigal?
Yeah.
Will there be a little bit more back and forth, or will it just go no, from the get-go, we're going to go this way? I'd be interested to see what choices they make or things they add or take away or whatever.
Yeah.
But, if you like superheroes, if you like Invincible, if you like comic books and comedy and action, especially the final episode had some wonderful action beats there. Me and you were this game is fucking sick, dude.
Pausing it just to go, hold on one second, did they just do that?
Yeah. Because this game is just choice-based, there's not really a lot of action beats. You see some action, but you're not participating in it.
Yeah, the whole dispatch thing is action. Oh my god, this plane is crashing and there's a cat stuck in the tree, and it's cool, let's see it. Nah, you don't see shit. I hope you like looking at a map.
There's a scene where you help Invisigirl fight a bad guy in episode 2.
Yeah.
And you're doing hacking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you're making choices for her or whatever or things to say to her for her to do.
Yeah.
And so in that way you're participating in the action, but it's not, how most games are played. But
I wonder if you could make this a 2-player game, not necessarily It Takes Two, but that Breakout game that we played. and not couch co-op where
like I'm Robert Robinson, you're Invisigal,
and you have to tell me because you're looking at the cameras and I have to make the moves, but I'm very limited on what I can see, and you have to actually tell me how to get through these things.
Yeah, or maybe it's like we're not necessarily meant to play in the same room or like on a headset. It's just like I make a choice. Like let's say I tell you, "Hey, duck," and then something pops up where you can say "duck" or ignore what Robert says, and then you can choose to do what I say. Choose not to do what I say. Yeah. That could be fun.
Extra layers.
But anyway, so if there is a Dispatch 2, what do you have a pitch for what that game would be? Are we going all new cast of characters? Are we keeping the characters, adding more characters? Other characters are dying off? Who's the villain? Because I feel like the next step would be... Because clearly there are good guy superheroes, and then us who are the villain superheroes. Mm-hmm. Like, is there another team that we're rivaling against?
Yeah, what is the actual superheroes think about?
Is it good superheroes go bad? And then, because right now we're just fighting it. We were fighting a bad gang essentially, of super villains. Where it's like, okay, now what happens if the Justice League goes bad? Is it the Z team to defeat them? Can they defeat people who are like so much more? Like, what if it's a whole team of Phenomenons essentially?
What if because we may be taking the glory away from some of these superheroes, and they're like, look, we don't need to be part of your dispatch thing to do good. We are doing it. And yeah, maybe you think you're reforming them, but like we're the actual good guys. And so maybe they do kind of stage a thing that's so bad that these villains can't do anything. You're going to need us, but it goes wrong, and maybe some of the major superheroes die. And so the Z team has to step up and...
Yeah, I think if there's a second game, the SDN, I think that's what it's called, where he works, blows up episode 1.
Okay.
And so, like, there is no more dispatchers. It's like, oh, is the team breaking up? It's like, no, we'll work from my apartment or wherever. And so, like, I'm, like, a bunch of superheroes got wiped out. We were off-site because we went to go drink at a bar.
Sure.
And then everyone else died. So we're the only superheroes in town kind of thing. Or, like... All right. And then, so it's up to Robert Robinson and his, like...
And maybe even
newly formed superhero team.
Some of our people need to die as well. Like, oh no, the short guy, he got killed. So punch up. We gotta recruit new people so you can lose some of the ones that maybe aren't as important and add some new ones who didn't die. Yeah. Just to spice it up. Because if it's just the same team and we're doing the same dispatch stuff, that's gonna get old.
I did like how certain team members, they paired up with each other well, or like gave each other boosts depending on how you place them. Like, I think that was a clever way to like sort of make the game a little bit more strategic and thought-provoking.
Sure.
Because I think we did more good than bad, but there was definitely times where like we fucked that up. We beefed it. But
I really would like someone to sit me down and really say what would have been the perfect people for certain missions, because we feel like we were doing the right thing, but then it would be like, no, you needed more brains for this. Like, really? Okay.
But that's the thing. It's like, obviously, we could have boosted more people's brain power up, because we pretty much used Sonar anytime there was any sort of intelligence-based thing, and Prism anytime there was any sort of charisma-based thing, and then everyone else was just fighting.
Yeah.
It's probably for the best that we didn't have to worry too much about that, but it kind of felt like, oh, well, we just put 2 heavy-hitting people over here. Chances are we're going to succeed on this. So maybe a little bit more dynamicism. Is that a word?
More just nuance and...
More nuance and sort of the choices that you make.
Yeah.
But we're making like minor complaints.
Sure.
But like we said, we really, really like this game.
It would have been nice if, even if it pulls into some of it being a turn-based fighting, we're making these selections. We're just basing it off their stats. Well, let's have them do some Final Fantasy fights or saving a kitten out of the tree or putting out fire. Like, if we were able to kind of get our hands in the actual action, even if it is just a turn-based thing, it'd be something.
I think, and this is my last thing, and then we can move on. Even if it was, we send these 2 people to do this mission, and there's a quick 8-second clip of them either succeeding or failing that mission, and it's an opportunity to like see something cool / make a funny joke.
Yeah.
And it like only adds 3 minutes to the runtime because it's just really quick snippets of just like at least then we can like see something other than they did it, I guess.
I would even accept like a lot in fighting games, you defeat your opponent and it'll just show 2 pictures and your opponent will have like bruises and scars and it's just text at the bottom. I'd be even okay with that this is a save people from the burning building. So every character has they were successful and they had an unsuccessful picture and it just shows them in front of the burning building and they either got their thumbs up or their hair is singed and they got some soot on their face. And that's all it is. Just give me a shot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, all in all, good stuff. I would like to play it again, making very specific decisions. I would, maybe I would keep Coupe and leave the bat and fire the bat and see how that would play out and then, since there is only 3 choices, just this is a playthrough of only circle. This is a playthrough of only triangle. And hey, maybe even do a playthrough of don't select at all. Let it auto select. What does that come? I know it'd get a little boring and
you see the same story over and over, and that's the only problem I have. That's my major problem with these games. It's like I would love to play again, but at the same time,
how much is it going to be exactly the same?
Yeah, it's another 8 hours just to go like
I could watch 4 movies or the whole series of something else.
So chances are I'll probably just like YouTube any sort of major differences I wanted to see because I'm pretty sure at the end of the day you're getting most of the same stuff.
And if anybody wants to know, we kept the love out of the workplace and we
didn't date either one of them.
Yep, we are so nice. We are just nice guys. And we always finish last. All right, let's get to our main topic because holy shit, we are already at an hour and 49 minutes.
All right, well, let's knock this out in 11 minutes.
Okay, so I saw this 2 weeks ago. Steve saw this last week.
Last week, yeah.
But we saw Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, the new Gore Verbinski movie. I already made some comments about it.
I forgot everything you said.
I kept it pretty brief because it's not a movie you could really talk about without getting into some of the nitty-gritty, because even to this day, I'm still confused about a lot of stuff. But all in all, I really like the movie, and it's very, very fun. I just think it kind of loses the plot towards the end and its overall messaging. What did you think?
I went into this movie not knowing much about it, and I purposely avoided spoilers or anything from you. I really like this movie.
Yeah.
I had a great time. I am a huge Sam Rockwell fan.
Hell yeah.
Probably top 3 favorite actors for me. He always, no matter what thing he's in, whether it's a small indie or a big budget movie, dude fucking crushes it. He always brings it. And him playing this homeless looking guy from the future who's like screaming about the end of the world, you go like, okay, this guy's fucking nuts. Why would I ever go with
Just gonna say, good Halloween costume if anybody wants to do it.
Costume, yeah. And I like that we didn't see the time loop.
I'm really surprised we didn't.
In a movie that is about time loops, it's very easy to go like, okay, we're doing Groundhog's Day and all this other shit, but it's like, nope, this is just one of his attempts.
And we don't get to do the loop because we got to focus on the other characters as well. Their backstory is important to this whole thing, so we just don't have enough time to do multiple loops.
And this movie's pushing 2.5 hours. Yeah. Like it's not short, but it goes and goes and goes. I was never bored.
No.
I was. It's funny, but like fucked up kind of funny.
Yeah.
And it has stuff to say, but not like in an annoying, like preachy way.
Yeah, it's not
like
a boomer preachy sort of thing.
But it's like, hey, these things that are happening, they're fucked up, right?
Yeah.
Look how silly this is. Because this movie has a lot to say about like school shootings and stuff like that. And like some of the best comedy is from the idea of like school shootings, which
the Juno Temple section is so funny.
Yeah. So anyway, to set up the movie, Sam Rockwell claims he's from the future and he needs the right group of people in this diner to help him save the world and destroy this AI that will essentially like make humans mindless zombies, essentially.
Why this diner and why a certain amount of people?
I don't know if it ever says.
Exactly. There's a lot of things in this where they just never say. Is he in this diner because the time machine puts him there every time? He doesn't have a choice? Do the people in the future know something about this diner and that they know someone here?
I think he does say something along. I think someone does ask like why us, why this diner, and I forget his explanation.
And it's like,
or if he just goes like, well, in the future, I just know. It's like it's a kind of a throwaway line, I think, of just like I know the key to the saving the future is in this diner, and it's with a certain people. I just don't know enough, like, so I have to keep doing this until I figure it out. But we'll get to what I think is going on at the end. But yeah, so this group of people like Michael Pena, Zazie Beetz, Haley Lou Richardson, and
Juno Temple,
and then a couple
randos who are like you don't know their names, so it's okay if they die.
Yeah. They agree to go with him, even and the opening scene lends to some real fun stuff of just like I know who you are, I know your backstory. I'm not picking you. You fucking suck. Yep. You betray me multiple times.
We fall in love, but we can't make it work.
Like all that is just like classic Sam Rockwell stuff.
I love
he's just selling.
Someone raises their hand right from the get go and like, no, you fucking suck every single time. Stop raising your hand.
Because this is the 117th time,
something like
that he's done this. And sometimes he makes it far. Sometimes he doesn't even make it out of the diner because the cops, mow him down with gunfire. And then we get backstories. So we have the Michael Pena Zazie Beetz storyline where they are school teachers who are afraid of their students because they like can't get off their phones, and if you touch their phones, they're like monster people,
and they're really snarky, and they will cut you down in an instant, and it's best to just kind of ignore them.
And the teachers are just like, "Oh yeah, he's going on sabbatical." And they're like, "Teachers don't take sabbatical. What are you talking about?" Michael Pena is really funny in this movie. He's always very good.
Yeah.
So we get their thing, and so their connection to it is like technology is ruining their kids. And then we get the Juno Temple storyline where her son was killed in a school shooting. And some moms are like, "Oh, hey, baby, don't worry about it. Our children were killed in school shootings too." It's like, why the fuck are these people like? You don't know what's going on. Like, why is this so fucking weird? And then there's like an Apple store where you can print out a new child, which is like close to your child, but
you only get like one attribute.
You only get to pick one attribute. Was your kid like weird, or was he, whatever?
Was he tall?
And then it's like, oh, but to like save money, you can get your child with ads, and so like once a day they're gonna say an ad at you, and like don't worry, it's gonna come out organically, and like that's super funny. Like honestly, this movie is an extended Black Mirror episode.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, just like of course, what parent wouldn't kind of want their child back? It has all their child's there, but like their soul and identity is kind of not the same.
Yeah, and I love the couple that she talks with, and like, yeah, this is like the fourth time our kid died, so we just had fun with it.
Yeah, that's the best line in the movie. It's just like, you had 4 children die in school shootings. It's like, no, we've had the same child die in 4 different school shootings.
And this time we just made her tall and Muslim and a little racist.
Yeah. Oh god, all that stuff is so.
I really expected to see like a really tall girl walk by.
I was waiting for it too.
She's in the doorway and her head's above the door, like just this enormous woman.
Because that one woman her mom made the joke of just like, sometimes I don't know, just Jesus Christ, like she scares me because we made her so tall. It's like I can't believe they didn't have that bit in there.
Yeah.
But anyway,
but she gets a card saying, "Hey, we can get a closer version of your son. It's just a voice," and she has an earbud,
and it's like, do whatever the crazy man says, or whatever, or the man from the future says, or man at the diner. And so that leads her to the diner where Sam Rockwell is. So that's why she agrees to be part of this mission. And then we get the Haley Lou Richardson,
and he's like, absolutely not you.
Yeah, because she just seems like a total weirdo.
She's wearing a princess dress and sneakers.
Yeah, and she's suicidal. But her backstory is she is allergic to Wi-Fi, and if she gets too close to technology, she gets a nosebleed, and so she just wants to like live a life away from technology. She gets a boyfriend who's like, okay, babe, sure, I'm a simple man.
I don't use those.
I don't need that
smartphones.
Stuff. And then he gets like an Oculus device where he's like, oh no, the digital world's way better than our existence. I'm gonna go live there. you should come too. And she's like, no.
It would kill me.
Yeah. So
why does he get this?
It is just left at his house for...
So is this the AI sending it to random people and hoping to convert them?
Well, we'll get into nitty-gritty later, but yes, essentially.
I'm just bringing it up because we're already here.
Yeah. I think we can make the assumption that the AI's plan is to convert as many humans as possible. So here's a free thing that you didn't pay for. Why wouldn't you just use it? And of course, he falls for the trick and then she doesn't, even though we never see what he sees. It's just, I'm living in a world that's better than ours.
I would have liked to see it because is it just like...
It's probably personalized.
Yeah, like, are you just getting sucked off all day long, and there's like an attachment machine, and you're like, this is just the greatest thing.
I'm surprised we didn't see sex stuff.
Yeah.
But we did... not Interstellar. Inception did kind of a thing where, Leonardo DiCaprio's character goes to this, warehouse in India or whatever, and there's just a bunch of people, on things. So, well, the dream world's better than the real world. Why wouldn't people just, do this? And so people just spend all their time in the dream world because they don't have anything to worry about there. Which is also scary as fuck.
But it just seems like someone who was so, I don't use MapQuest or Google Maps or whatever, and is this anti-technology person that he would have, smashed it instantly.
Well, sure, but I mean, so many of our parents probably not our parents necessarily, but there's a generation of video games start coming up. Video games are the devil. They're gonna fry our television. It's all gonna fry our kids' brain. So why wouldn't the next big thing just be AI digital worlds? That's so scary. The kids are never gonna go outside and play. It's but do you see how fucking awesome it is?
Yeah, but that seems more of I didn't grow up with it, so it's scary, so I fear it. Whereas he had more of a belief that technology was bad, but he decided to do it anyway. It's I'm a teetotaler. I don't do drugs and alcohol. But then someone delivers you a bottle of wine, you're like, well, I guess I gotta try it,
It's free.
Yeah, so...
The first taste is free. And then
I just wish, maybe he was full of shit. He's been lying to her this whole time about technology use because he was able to get into her pants.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho.
And so, she sleeps with her boyfriend. He leaves her, not necessarily in that sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why she goes to this diner, because she's just fuck it, I don't care about life anymore. I just want to walk somewhere. And
Does she know that she's pregnant at this time? Not yet? Okay.
I don't believe so. And so we
got 1 minute left, Steve.
Damn it. Sam Rockwell goes, we need to get to this little boy's house. He's the one who creates the AI that, destroys the world. We're not going to kill him. We're just going to basically destroy his computer or whatever. That's their goal. And they
put a USB in, and
they have guys in mass with machine guns who are trying to kill them. They escape them. He's they get to this house. They're like, hey, every time we get to this house, we all die before we can get there, or you guys all die because he just teleports back to the beginning of the loop if he ever gets in too much trouble. And so he's sometimes it's
the
Yakuza, sometimes it's zombies, whatever it is. There's always something here that stops us from getting into the house.
So they start spitballing.
And they start spitballing
a centaur, some cats.
Yeah, and they just think it's kind of fun. They're not pitching what they want to see. It's just
it could be.
Yeah, wouldn't that be silly? Mm-hmm. And then it does a Ghostbusters where they go out and the students from earlier who are kind of a zombie horde, they're there, and then a giant giraffe-esque cat
made of cats.
Made of a cat head made with imagine a giraffe with centaur body, which I guess is kind of just like a giraffe's body. With cat heads that make up its neck, and a giant cat head that is eating the teenagers and then ejaculates
rainbows, glitter. Yeah,
and you're like, what the fuck is movie this? Am I watching?
Yeah,
what is this? But they make it into the house. Some characters don't make it, and then they find the little boy who's working on the AI and try and stop him, but he's very powerful. All this stuff's going on. It's revealed that Haley Lou Richardson is actually Sam Rockwell's mom from the future, because obviously she was not immune, but she avoided all this stuff and raised him in isolation because obviously she couldn't be near technology because it would kill him.
And then the moment one's in his reach, he goes and
he's tempted, he checks it out, and then his mom gets killed. And so that's why he goes back in time to try and undo.
Well, that's not why. I mean, he goes back in time to undo it, but we don't know how he goes back in time.
Yes. We never see the development of like technology. It says like they
because his mom dies when he's a kid and he's coming back as an over 40-year-old man. So there's many years that what was he doing?
Yeah.
I just have so many questions about this movie that just doesn't answer.
So anyway, they defeat the AI. They save the day through the power of love. Sam Rockwell is dying because he took a knife from a little toy robot thing. And as they get outside, they have their happy ending, and he realizes like, hey, something's not right. I think I'm still in. I need to go back and fix it. I'm sorry, Mom. And then it starts over again. And the mom, Haley Richardson's like, oh my God, something's not, we failed, yada, yada, yada. And kind of has like this sad, dour ending. And then you're just like, well, what the fuck was the point of all this? And then you see Sam Rockwell back at the diner and he like teams up with his mom again. Is like, hey, we got to go on this adventure again. And you're going to come with me, blah, 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 blah. And then,
but I'm going to take your disease and put it in the rats to infect the world so they will also ignore this new technology.
Yeah. So cut to credits, the movie's over, and then you're just like,
what?
What? And that being said, had a blast. Love all the characters, love the actors, had a fun time, wonderfully paced, great visual effects with the cat creature thing, super funny. I love this movie. Definitely going to end up on my top 10 on the year. So I think what I was thinking and what other people I've seen online going like, well, it seems it's so funny that people think like, oh, well, he's still like going back to fix things, but it's like, it's clearly he's in the Matrix. He has to be, because why else would that fucking like? There's so much evidence to show that this guy is like in the machine.
Yeah.
That there's no way he can fix it. He's on a constant loop of like trying to destroy this thing, but he can't because he's
in the game. Yeah.
And so he's like destined to just like keep going, doing this over and over and over again.
Because when he picks up the thing and his mom gets blown up, he like puts it on. He may just be laying in a field for all we know, just playing this.
If that is even what happens.
Yeah.
Because I think part of it is, well, one, are the other characters even real people? Are they part of this simulation as well?
Sure.
I think it's kind of saying like the AI is just designing it's creating a story for him or these people, and that's all it is. It's just giving them an adventure they've never been on before, or like this is his greatest desire. I'm designing a story that will like give him the opportunity to try and like save his mom that he failed to do in the future, or explain why kids are this awful way, or like I lost my son, so maybe she's in the Matrix and this gives her the opportunity. But like it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so many questions, and I'm not smart enough to articulate them. But it's clear to me that he's
in something. Because how's that cat
he
thing
or
exist?
them all are in something.
Yeah.
He's not. There's no way for him to defeat it because he's already in it.
Yeah.
Unless he's just got to like, I don't know. But it seems like once it's got you, it seems impossible to get out. Because we don't even know if like that future is true, or if this is just like made up in this guy's mind through this digital landscape he's in. It's Black Mirror. We don't know what's real and what's not. It's all a simulation. Some it's a simulation, some it's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But all I know is this movie fucking rules. I'm so glad Gore Verbinski is doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
Even though The Cure for Wellness was fucking weird. I didn't even care for that movie that much. But
still a good movie. Not as best.
But yeah. All the Pirates movies were fun. Rango was cool.
The Ring's good.
Even if you hate like Pirates of the Caribbean 3, I don't know. I had a good time.
Pirates is one of the greatest like action adventure movies of all time.
Yeah.
Diminishing returns, sure. I mean, I like the second one the best, just because Davy Jones and those effects that's the
incredible.
New Jurassic Park. Like, we're getting to a point where you can look at Jurassic Park and go, okay, maybe they're a little dated now, but Pirates 2, no, that's the new standard.
Yeah.
He did another thing, though. It was like Rango, and it was like one of those that I was like, oh yeah, I forgot he did that as well. Give me 1 second.
Who's gonna get there?
Oh, it's Lone Ranger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like not a great movie, but when you're talking about like the piratification of a movie, like you can tell it's done by him. Like that train sequence is insane. It's a really fun movie. It's just like, too bad the cast are like weirdos and it's a little racist. You shouldn't have white guys playing Indians, and Army Hammer was our Glenn Powell of the time. We had such hopes for him, but you had to be a cannibal or something. But yeah, I always forget that he did Lone Ranger as well, which I really enjoy that movie for what it is.
I don't even remember it, but I remember going like, yeah, it's not great, but like I had a good time.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah,
it's better than the last 2 or 3 Pirates movies, I'd say.
So I'm gonna give Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. I think I'm gonna go A-.
Okay. I couldn't get it to the A because I had too many questions.
I'm okay with the questions.
And because
I just had a blast.
It feels like this is the prequel movie to something else where this is supposed to answer the questions that are maybe established in that movie. Mm. So we don't get all the answers because we know the answers from that movie, and this is tidying up other things. And we just haven't seen that movie. We saw these movies out of order. And,
yeah. I just feel like this movie gave me a feeling of like, oh, this is like if this kind of thing came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, this would be like a huge indie hit.
Yeah.
If this was just like, whoa, what an inventive thing that they did and was sort of like new filmmaking or something like that. Like if this was Gore Verbinski's first movie and it looked like a little bit cheaper, like you'd be like, holy shit, what a fucking opener this is.
Yeah. But if you take, it's like 12 Monkeys mixed with Everything Everywhere All at Once, but Everything Everywhere All at Once went to 11 on their ideas, the Raccacoonie and donuts and rocks and stuff like this. And this went up to a 3. They didn't go balls to the wall with the crazy ideas.
I'd say 5.
But like, there's so much in Everything Everywhere All at Once, and not as much in this.
Sure.
It's almost like it's when they talk about a sea of cats and the Yakuza and zombies, it's like, oh, that'd be cool. Can we see that? Nah, we don't got time for that. Yeah. Whereas the other one would show all that.
Yeah, I'd say like if this was the Daniels and then Edgar Wright and like the fun of Edgar Wright with the craziness of the Daniels and their shit, and then you kind of like toned it down a little bit and made it like a more simplistic version of both those crazy directors.
Like, you guys have a $200 million movie, we'll give you 50.
Yeah. But this is an expensive indie movie, and I had a great time.
Yeah.
I no real complaints.
No complaints.
Yes, are there unanswered questions? Absolutely, but I think that's partially the point. Mm-hmm. And this is one of those occasions where like I don't need more answers.
You don't.
The story told me what it needed to tell me for me to like get the experience that I think it was trying to give me. And
maybe that's the point, is this conversation,
We might be in a simulation right now. We might have had this conversation 117 times.
Damn.
Or
how many coins you got in your pocket?
No.
All right, well. Anything else?
No. Sorry it took us a little while to get all this stuff out.
Yeah,
big
episode.
But like, you know what? That's what you come here for with Ben and I. Just like, look at how much stuff we didn't
even have Nick here to slow us up. But we did have 2 weeks worth of shit to talk about.
We did.
And I didn't even mention
next
everything.
week I might have 3 things. Who knows?
So next week is Hoppers.
Nope.
And The Bride.
Oh.
Yeah. March is a weird one. There's some like Invincible comes back, and there's some other shows that are like, okay, cool, that's fun.
Yeah, but we won't be talking about Invincible till
end of the month or like end of June. But like this month we have Project Hail Mary, but and then other things like They Will Try to Kill You or They Will Kill You All. That Zazie Beetz movie that looks fun. There's stuff I want to see. I want to see The Bride. I want to see Hoppers. But nothing that jazzed me as much as like January and February did. There's a movie coming out on the 27th, and it reminds me of those movies like, this isn't the right name, it's like Alex Cross, Wind Rider, or something like that. There's like a post-apocalyptic movie where it's like Mad Max but on the sea, and you got to take your sailboat out on the ocean and ride the waves to prove yourself.
I don't know what this is.
It's crazy looking. I tried to look it up and I can't find it. but it looks like a movie within a movie. Like, I can't believe this is coming to theaters.
Did you see the trailer for War Machine?
No.
I think it looks kind of fun.
Yeah, that's another one that's coming out pretty soon. So
Jack Reacher fighting a giant machine. Looks pretty sweet.
I think that's the week after this. So you're not going to see either one of those, huh?
I don't know. We'll see. I need to see what's going on this week.
Okay. Well, if you had to choose one,
I mean, it's like Hoppers. I think I know what I'm going to get, and it won't be like
it's the Wild Robot and Avatar.
Well, no, because Wild Robot is an amazing piece of cinema.
Sure. The themes.
I could see Hoppers being like the Minions. Just.
Oh, I've heard it's better than that.
Like, well, I'm sure, but I just mean I can see it just being kind of average.
Sure.
Where like I could see The Bride not being good, but at least it's like interesting.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm struggling with. It's like, do I go with mediocrity or do I go with bad but different?
Yeah. I think Hoppers looks cute. I love the design of the beaver. It's winning me over just on...
You just love beaver so much, man.
The cute little lizard thing. I don't know. There's something that, like, just like Elio. I knew it wasn't going to be great, but there was something about it that it made me want to see it.
I would love it if Hoppers came out and the reviews are like 100%. It's the next Wild Robot, and it's just like it'll make you laugh and cry and all that good stuff. I would love that, but it just didn't seem like the trailer.
I'm not hearing any of that, and like there's been a lot of early releases for Hoppers, but I haven't heard anything about The Bride. But I've seen that trailer a million times since like last October. It's on.
I've only seen it twice.
Oh my god, it's on. There's a new trailer now, so. Yeah. But like I don't know, when's the last time we saw Christian Bale? Like we've seen her plenty. She's been working.
I don't know.
Was it Thor: Love and Thunder?
Maybe, but we've also seen Frankenstein 3 months ago.
Yeah, that's very true. But this is Bonnie and Clyde meets Frankenstein. This is the perfect This Meets That movie.
This means that. Yeah. Well, find out next week. Tune in.
Yeah, we'll do something, All right, well, if you want to get in contact with us, we are at WRPLpodcast@gmail.com. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. As always, I'm Ben.
And I'm Steve.
And keep consuming.